Hi, I'm Thomas Westbrook, the founder of Holy Kool-Aid, and for the last 9 years, I have been promoting scientific skepticism and critical thinking on YouTube in order to push back against harmful misinformation. I've covered everything from faith healing frauds who bilk the desperate out of their life savings, telling you that their prayers can miraculously cure cancer, to snake oil psychics claiming to have paranormal insights from beyond the grave. I've exposed alternative medicine quackery, prophecy fails, and even placed the historical claims of the Bible under the microscope in my series Nothing Fails Like Bible History. Because I think we can know how the world works, but not through mysticism, Iron Age books written by clueless ancients, or prayer, or the divine revelations of some wacko cult leader. We learn how the world works by gathering and analyzing data through rigorous testing. Science is a method that works, and it's so freaking cool. Meanwhile, religious extremists, cult leaders, and new age whack jobs prey on the desperate, vulnerable, and uneducated to enrich and empower themselves while spreading dangerous misinformation. Their tentacles work their way into government, where they shape public policies, spreading harmful ideologies like Christian nationalism.
So you see, I also call myself a Christian nationalist.
Or nonsense conspiracy theories. I started pushing back against religious fundamentalism, pseudoscience, and woo of all stripes back in 2015. At the time, I had no money, no fancy equipment, and no connections, but I went all in. Quit a good IT job, sold everything I owned, cashed in my retirement savings, and took out a small business loan, because I believed that this cause is worth fighting for. For a while, I was even sleeping in my car, which doubled as a portable recording studio, while traveling the country to speak at events and network with other people in this niche. It's taken years of hard work, but my channel has exploded, reaching nearly 40 million viewers on YouTube alone. And when I wasn't making videos pushing back against religious extremism, I was organizing communities and hosting and speaking at conferences to let atheists and non-believers know that they're not crazy and they're not alone, and to educate people as to how we can better fight against misinformation and how to scale that. I have helped, inspired, and trained dozens of new content creators, and now I'm ramping things up. This last year, I spent nearly 2 months in the UK with my good friend and fellow atheist YouTuber, Stephen Woodford, also known as Rationality Rules. In that time, we learned so much from each other. We inspired and motivated each other, and both of us are now wanting to massively scale up our productions. For that reason, I've decided to move to the UK this February. We're going to pool our resources, rent out a large studio space, and hire new team members. This will give us enough space to rent out a 24/7 access office with enough space for an entire team plus a recording studio. The goal is to massively increase our output, to build huge channels which combat the spread of misinformation with evidence-based pro-science videos. Religious organizations have gigantic budgets, but we have the truth. They have entire TV shows. We have fucking grit. They may have powerful connections, and we might just be a couple of grassroots YouTubers, but we have a passionate base of supporters. And though in many ways this is a David against Goliath situation, we can push back and we can win this fight. But I need your help, because this isn't cheap. And though Patreon and PayPal have kept my show afloat and allowed me to do this full-time as a one-man operation, to scale this even bigger, we need to think bigger. So I launched this fundraiser to kick that off. We've already raised over $10,000 in just a few days, which is enough to get me to the UK, help me self-sponsor my visa, and stay and work. But if we can go from that $10,000 to $30,000, that next 20 grand will cover my half of the studio rent for the entire year. The next $42,000 is gonna allow me to hire a full-time editor in the UK, which will be huge if I want to increase my output, since I've been a solo operation for the last couple of years. But let's not stop there. I want to bring on marketers, researchers, copywriters, graphic designers, and so much more. There is no limit as to what we can accomplish. And with your help, we can make all of this possible. Now, I realize that growing a media production company will incur ongoing costs, but I've done the math, and this initial boost will allow us to scale up enough to increase our reach and revenue enough to keep that momentum going. But we need this initial push, and for that, we need your help. Whatever you're able to give will go a long way towards this goal. I've put a link to the GoFundMe in the video description. Thank you so much to everyone who has contributed so far, and thank you in advance for those of you who are gonna donate. The truth is worth fighting for, and we can make a difference. Thank you, and as always, dare to be curious, but don't drink the Kool-Aid.